Away from that, officials of the Ghana Statistical Service began counting citizens in the Ashanti region who spent the census night at the Asafo VIP transport terminal in Kumasi. The exercise which targeted the unstable population, people in custody, people on admission at hospitals and those in transit came as a surprise to many. Though many who were interviewed in long-distance buses assisted officials to complete questionnaires, they claimed they were not aware of the exercise. Lava FM's Erastus Saridonko followed some of the census officials in Kumasi and reports.
Some enumerators on a procession on the Osu-Oxford Street, together with the government statistician and other officials, they shared leaflets and other educative materials. Similar awareness creation exercises took place in different parts of the country.
Census officials gathered in their numbers at the Asafo VIP terminal in Kumasi to begin the enumeration. At 8 p.m., they started mounting long-distance commercial vehicles, beginning the exercise.
So currently, we are here at the VIP station, and as you can see, officials have gotten onto this bus, which is bound for Accra, and they are starting the enumeration of the occupants of the bus. This exercise is focusing tonight on unstable population, that is people in transit, those who are traveling from one point to the other, people in hospitals, people in the prisons, and people who are sleeping outside. This is the Subin sub-metro. We have other districts that are also conducting the enumeration this night in many other districts across the Ashanti region.
Some complained they were hearing of the census and the exercise for the first time that night.
I didn't expect anything like this, and I didn't know such a thing was going on as at this time.
Others, including this gentleman, will not allow themselves to be counted on the bus. Regional statistician Dr. Kwabna Abakamensa noted the need for the census night to capture the unstable population starting the night of June 27th.
Census night is very important. It is the statistical reference point for all the questions in the census document. So for every question that we are going to ask starting from today onwards up to the 11th of July, we will refer it to tonight. That is why tonight is seen as very pivotal as far as the census exercise is concerned.
The mayor of Kumasi, Osei Esibentwi, urged members of the public to assist officials in the coming days to complete the census.
We all have to support them, to urge them to cooperate with the enumerators so as to make the job very easy for them and for the whole nation. To stress on the importance of this census. For one, to know the population and also to know the housing is an important data, important information that can help the city authorities to plan, as well as the nation to plan and plan well.
Reporting for JoyNews, Erastus Asaridonko, Kumasi.
And apologies for the earlier mix-up, but joining me live for this discussion, I beg your pardon, is Head of Census Publicity, Francis Nyakolabi. Thank you so much for joining the program this morning, sir, and good morning to you. So, first off, let's start this way. Are we counting everybody? Is the counting starting across all classes of society?
Thank you very much. For the offering me this platform. Yes, the census enumeration starts this morning. Hello,
Mr. Labi. Hello, Mr. Labi, we've lost your sound there. Can you kindly unmute?
And now, starting the actual enumeration. So the actual enumeration of census has started, having celebrated the census night last night.
So what should citizens look out for when they hear a knock at their door from someone who claims to be a census official? Hello, Mr. Labi?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I was asking what citizens should look out for when they hear a knock at their door and someone claims to be a census official.
Well, look out for his blue jacket, blue reflector jacket. Look out for his identity card. Look out to find out whether he's actually using the tablet, and if not, what accounts for that. So these are the basic things that we implore. But if the person is not also able to provide this, we are able to call a number 0800 0800 800 for cross-check. It's a toll-free number.
Okay, can you say that again? 0800 800
800.
Okay, and this will help people who are not too sure if the people coming to their homes are actual census officials or not. Can you describe that?
But one thing also is the person who is coming to your home may not be entering the house for the first time. He's the very officer who came around during the listing phase, the past 2 weeks when you were doing the listing. So he must be somebody, as at now, he must be somebody who is entering that house maybe for the second or third time. So he might not be a new person. But granted that you are probably seeing the person for the first time, you must identify him by his identity card, which is with him, and he must provide it for you for your viewing. And then you must also identify him by his clearly distinguished jacket, which has the logo of the Ghana Statistical Service as well as the census in it.
All right. So that's the basic description. We must have the logo of the Ghana Statistical Service. And what else that would set it apart, just in case some people may want to, run a copy, and produce fake ID cards so they can just take advantage of the process.
Yes. So we have the ID card that he has, and we have the jacket also. In terms of paper identification, these are the two things, plus the shirt that they are wearing. So these are the basic things that they are to have. But in order not to make somebody unnecessarily suspicious, what we are saying is that you can call this toll-free number 0800 800 800, and then the person identity will be proven to you after some time. So or within that period. So this is the basic thing. We are very much aware of the possibility of people identifying themselves falsely into this exercise. But thank God, as we move on, we haven't so far come across any certain. But we are not still saying that because of that, that situation will not happen. We are still alert and working on it.
Can you describe the kind of questions that I'll be asked by an enumerator?
This phase, the emphasis is on the questions. And so, as it will be expected, we'll ask you a question about your name. Actually, the name is the part of the questionnaire that is not so much needed, because
Hello, Mr. Labi. I think that you may have accidentally muted your device again. Can you kindly unmute it? Hello, Mr. Labi.
The issue is that there will be demographic issues. So we have to ask you your name, your age, and things like that. We will ask you questions about your educational level, as to whether there is in your level of literacy. Are you able to read and write in any language, Ghanaian language or foreign language or whatever? If you are able to read and write, that's your literacy. We'll ask you that question. Then there will also be questions about ICT, your level of ICT literacy, mobile phone, laptop, tablet. Does the household have one? Are you able to use it? Are you able to use access the internet? We'll ask you questions on those things. There will also be questions on economic activity. So we are going to ask if 7 days to yesterday, that is to the census night, if you did any work for economic gain. And so we'll ask you those things and what kind of work that you did. Those questions will also come across. We also have questions on migration. If anybody or any household member has migrated or has moved out of this household and is living outside elsewhere, we'll ask you questions a little about such people. We are also going to ask you if the children in the household, it may be if they are all not the father, they are not all fathered by the head of the household. We are going to ask you if any of them has lost their parent, if any of them that's parental orphanage. There will be some questions about parental.
All right, Mr. Labi. So
then we'll ask you.
Sorry, I had to cut in there. Am I required to answer all the questions, or I can choose to, ignore some or pass them on?
Oh, technically, every question that is being asked there has a basis. Every question has its uses, and so we will wish that once you avail yourself to the questionnaire, the officer to go through the questionnaire, we will very much wish that you provide the responses to all the questions. Actually, if there is a particular question, maybe that is the responses you are not aware, and maybe you need to make reference to somebody who is not available, those questions, you can indicate it to the census official. He will go and come back another time to take those ones to complete the interview. So
let me create this scenario. I live alone, and it's a self-compound house, so I don't have neighbors, or I don't live on the same compound with neighbors. When you come to my home and I'm not around, and my work doesn't permit me to come home early enough to meet census officials, how do I make sure that I get counted?
So thank you very much. It is a situation that we are going to encounter a lot on the field. But what would then happen is that the first day I come and I don't meet you in the house. So I may make an inquiry, or maybe think that the next day I will come and meet you. So the next day I come again. If I don't meet you, then I will inquire from your next door neighbors. And then they will tell me that, oh, this woman, she leaves very early and comes very late. So we have what we call callback cards. I will either leave the callback card to somebody. It has my contact and my name. Then I will fill my portion and give it to the next door neighbor. When you see that she has come, or early in the morning, please give it to her for me. So when you take it, then you will see the content, and you also provide your identity, how I can meet you. So on it, we can now, when the officer comes to pick it the next day, you'll be able to put a call through, and then you can discuss to know when and where the two of you can meet for the exercise.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for giving us some details on that particular one, because I presume that a lot of people will fall within that category. Finally, these enumerators who are going to come around our homes first, you've told us the kind of identities or identification we should look out for. Am I required to admit them into my home? Maybe they come and I say, well, let's stand at the entrance of my house and do this. Is that permitted, or I necessarily have to admit them into my home?
Really, admitting the person into your home is not a requirement, provided as you come, you can get a convenient place to sit, convenient for yourself and convenient for the enumerator also. So it's not necessarily your home, because everything that he needs, he is required to ask you the question. It is only when we get to housing, when we get to the housing section of questionnaires, there are certain things he is to observe. And so if he's in the house, you could make those observations, something like the roofing of the building, and that one, even standing outside, you could look at it. Ceiling of the house. Is the house sealed or not? You could observe without necessarily asking. So that is it. Those few things, if he happens to be inside the house, it gives him the advantage of just observing them and not bothering you with those questions. But seriously, if for one or two reasons, especially for security reasons, you decide to provide him with all the information, it will just take you, let me say, maximum 30 minutes. And then when he is through, that's all. The basic thing he needs is the information. As to where you are providing that information is not so much a criteria for the interview. So he can done the interview at any place.
Let's quickly wrap up this conversation, sir. There were earlier reports of people who said that they were going to request money from census officials before giving the information. But what if I encounter an official who I think did not conduct their job professionally, or I think I want to make a report to the Ghana Statistical Service about how they handle themselves in my house? How will I do that?
It is welcome. You can call the same toll-free line and put the request. If it is that person, the district census office, which is closer to you, you can also go there and make a report there, and that officer will be. It is easy, very, very easy to identify an officer who misbehaves on the field. So the moment you come and you give us your house number, we will be able to know. When we check our documents, we'll be able to know that you are located at this position. And if you are located at this place, then this is the officer we are talking of. So with a little description that to guide us, we'll be able to get that person, and then punitive measures that is required will be meted out. Okay,
so finally, on the bit of people who may not be at home when census officials arrive, will counting be done in offices and corporate institutions?
Seriously or technically, offices counting will not be done in the offices. But this is a situation where you are working, you have come to find your callback card, and you think the easiest way to do it is when the officer comes to your office. If the office is not too far from your house, maybe let's say in the village, in the same community, the enumeration officer should be able to come there. But if it is in urban areas like as we are here, and then your office is, let's say, Panpine, and the enumerator, maybe your house is Kaswa, and you are asking the census officer to move from Kaswa to Panpine for the enumeration, it will become a little bit of a problem for him. So in that case, I would prefer that then you agree and have the interview done on phone.
Oh, so the interview can be done on phone too. Thank you very much.
It can be done on phone, yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time here this morning. Really insightful conversation. Francis Nyakolabi is head of census publicity for the 2021 Housing and Population Census. Don't forget, if you still have any concerns, the toll-free number is 0800 800 800. Let's stay a while on the census. Officials in the Techiman Municipality of the Bono East region are optimistic that the 2021 Population and Housing Census would help bring development to the area. They believe this will raise the municipality's status to a metropolitan one. Municipal Census Officer Alex Anyate says enough preparation has been made to ensure the safety of officers as they embark on this exercise. The exercise, which commenced on the 27th of June, targeted travelers, people who sleep on the streets and guest houses, or persons who were guests in hotels.
All is set for the 2021 population and housing census to take place in all the 11 municipal and district assemblies of the Bono East region. Authorities in the region are optimistic that the exercise will help with the needed data capable of aiding development within the area. Mr. Alex Anyete is the Techiman South Census Officer and the second in command at the Regional Census Office.
Bono East region is a new region that has been carved out of the former Bono Ahafo region. So since this region was created, this is the very first census that we have ever had. So we at the regional office, we in the district offices, we are determined to do good work so that we can have a good estimate of the population and the structures.
The Techiman Municipality has in all deployed 525 personnel made up of 430 enumerators and 95 supervisors. Municipal Coordinating Director Alhaji Hamza told JoyNews that enough preparations are being made to ensure that the exercise runs smoothly, with the municipality aiming at attaining a metropolitan status.
You know, as a child, you want to grow to be like your father. And for Techiman Municipal Assembly, you know, now we are now a municipality. So we are also aspiring to be a metropolitan. So for us, this exercise is very important to us. It's very crucial. And so that's why we are appealing to everybody to just get himself or herself counted, so that at least the numbers will show that we are actually in the status of metropolitan.
On the safety of these offices, Alhaji Hamza indicated that security measures are being deployed to provide the needed protection for these census offices.
We have had several meetings with the security people. The police commander, we have some military detachment unit here. They are there to provide them with security wherever they will be. Some of them will even to the extent that they will be in plain clothes, so that they will be there afar and be monitoring people who are undertaking the exercise.
Mr. Alex Anyete asked that with the rainy season already in place, authorities are providing census officials with raincoats as well as Wellington boots to help them embark on their duties.
June is the rainy season in Ghana here. What HQ Statistical Service did was to find Wellington boots and then raincoats for all, so that as they go, apart from the people getting wet, they are also carrying other items that they use for their work that we do not want it to be moist. We do not want rain to touch. So we are protecting the human beings and we are protecting our gadgets from rain. So they have the Wellington boots and they have the raincoat.
He urged all to be part of this exercise by cooperating with census officials.
I want to plead with everybody. It is when they compromise with us, it is when they support us, it is when they agree with us that we can do this. So please, everybody out there, when the census officer comes to your home, entertain them. They will come ask permission, then allow them, give them some time to do the enumeration so that we can get the complete coverage and then we can get the accurate data that we have targeted. You count, so get counted.
Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Techiman.